But it's a movie out right now that I'm going to get into later, and I want to get your, just get your outlook on this movie being made right now. And I got a few questions for you. But what I want people out there to know about Ted, what I want you guys to know how I feel about Ted. Ted was in a lot of, you remember like a lot of early exploitation movies?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You remember those? Now you were in a few of those.
Oh, okay? Damn right I was. I was,
A lot of people don't remember, but I didn't know who you were then. But for some reason, dog, you got one of those faces that once you see it, you never forget it. It's like that guy that lives around the corner or down the street. You've seen that. I know you heard this before. You've seen that guy before. Now you may have not have had a big role in the movie, but back in those days we went to the drive-ins as a kid. The whole family jumps in the car and this is playing, and you go see these movies, man. And, be it as it may, man. How do you feel about the black exploitation times? Because you lived it. You were there. Give us your outlook on that whole thing.
Well, the main thing is, Stevie, that I wanted to be an actor and I wanted to make a living as an actor.
Right.
And there weren't any jobs.
Right.
The only jobs that were around were coming out of black exploitation, and they still didn't pay as well as a white actor would get. You know what I mean? Because they did everything on the cheap. Because at that time, black audiences were really hungry to see us up on the screen.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to, you could have a $10 million movie and make it for $2 if it was black.
Right.
You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, there's a movie called Truck Turner with Isaac Hayes.
I remember that movie.
And when I was in film school, the guy that produced that movie said, well, we wanted this for Sylvester Stallone, but it was too expensive to make, so we made it black. That was the deal. So you could make it, and it wasn't until you got stuff like Shaft, where the studio actually backed the movies, that you got a little more quality involved.
That was one of the first ones that the studio actually got behind, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the first one. And the reason they got behind that was because of a movie called Sweetback's Badass Song.
Mario Van Peebles, Melvin Van Peebles.
Mario was his son, and as a matter of fact, one of my second Broadway play was Melvin Van Peebles' "Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death," and I used to see this little 12-year-old kid running around backstage. It was Mario.
Oh, wow.
He was running backstage, no shoes on. Anyway, but he grew into a deal. A deal. But again, doing "Ain't Supposed to Die," there were very few plays for black actors to do on Broadway. So I was in the musical Hair, singing and dancing. And then I left that.
I wish I could have heard the singing.
Oh man, you didn't want to hear that singing. You didn't want to hear that singing.
Man, yes, I do.
No. And so I left that and went into "Ain't Supposed to Die."
Okay.
And we did that, So the thing, and it's part of the reason why I became a writer, Stevie, is because sometimes you get some lines and you look at them, and the white person producing the show or producing the movie would impose what they thought black people were, not necessarily. They didn't say, "What do you think?" They said, "We'd like it this way."
Right.
And so there was a fine line that you had to walk in order not to insult the black folks in the audience, but yet and still deliver the goods on whatever the scene was.
Right.
And that's what I always tried to do, is because they don't say, "Hey, what about this? Would a black person do this, or would a black person do that?" And then you could go. They started doing that on sitcoms,
right?
A little bit with John Amos, and on Good Times, and
did they do it a little bit on Sanford and Son also?
Yeah, Sanford and Son. You know what they would do is they'd write the joke. They knew it wasn't a good joke. They knew it, but they'd
Right.
wait for Red to come in, and Red would make the joke work.
No wonder.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's why that stuff still holds up.
Yeah. I went to direct Bernie Mac on his show when Bernie Mac had his show, and the guy straight up told me, he says, "Look, we just write what we think is funny, and then we give it to Bernie Mac, and Bernie Mac makes it funny." But Bernie Mac didn't get that guy's salary. See
yeah.
Says, so
I got you.
You got John Doe over here says, "I want to be a writer." The guy says, "Come on in." He writes something, and he says, "Is this funny?" He said, "Don't worry about it. Bernie's going to change it anyway." Right. You know, and then he learns. He gets paid for learning.
Right.
And he learns how to construct a scene. He learns how to write a half hour. You know what I mean? But he's getting paid while he's learning.
Right.
We don't get paid.
I got you.
You know, we have to go to somebody's class, or you know, but they don't have you sitting on the job learning the craft, you know.